In this video, I want to talk about a subject that is not really addressed too much in the art sphere on YouTube. The soul-crushing, dream-killing question that haunts every artist out there. Should we get a day job or focus on our pursuit of art 100% full-time? Are we selling out if we clock in from 9 to 5, or are we just being reasonable adults? Is pursuing your art full-time a noble quest or a fast track to living in the basement of your parents? As someone who's pursuing documentary photography as an art experience or whatever, I've been dealing with this question for many years right now. Currently, I'm a documentary photographer who's also working a job in project management, and I've been balancing both for a couple of years right now. Let me tell you, it's a mind-bending balancing act. Some days I feel like I'm living the dream. Other days
If you have worked on a particular holiday and it was pre-approved, you would put, let's say if you were working for half a day, you would only put for
days I'm questioning every life choice that I've made. So let's dive into this mess together and figure out if we should be starving artists or, actually afford to eat for a while. So, pros of having a day job. Let's start with the obvious. It's financial security, like a steady paycheck can provide stability, allowing you to pursue your art without constant financial stress. But it's not something that we should take lightly, because especially in the current economic struggle and the inflation, all of that, everything seems to be exponentially expensive. So having like a financial cushion that you can lay your head on can give you a lot of peace of mind. So the second one is it can give you a grounded perspective. Regular work can keep you connected to diverse experiences and prevent you from being this, out of touch art snob. You definitely don't want to be one of those guys, because I've met those people. Nobody like them. The third pro is it's having a traditional employment or a 9 to 5, especially something that is perhaps more physically demanding or something like that. It's very character building. Enduring 8 or even 10 hours a day of potentially mundane work definitely builds resilience and discipline. And every artist who is not resilient nor disciplined, well, we basically never heard of those guys, because those guys never make it. So this can be a pro of having a traditional employment. So try to think about that. Another one, it can be a big creative catalyst. I found after many years that funny is that boredom is a catalyst for creativity. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. Boredom is a catalyst for creativity. I remember, especially when I had a desk job, you'll be repeating the same action over and over again. And when you have like your break or something, your mind starts to wander, and subconsciously your mind starts to fantasize or dream about things that you can be doing, or because your mind is it's a very powerful thing that yields crazy ideas. And I think for me, for example, it happens when I'm like either really bored or I'm swamped doing something that I'm not really fond of. So my mind plays this trick where it starts to fantasize about documentary projects that I want to be involved in, etc., etc. Or if you're writing music, some notes will pop in your head. I've heard James Hetfield from Metallica, he said that,
I'd be working at the sticker factory cutting stock and just thinking of riffs or lyrics or something. At lunchtime, I'd be out in the car with my guitar, writing some riffs, and oh shoot, I got to get back to work.
Traditional jobs push you to absorb the human experience, and especially if your art is telling a form of a story, you need to understand that storytelling is basically absorbing the human experience. And I remember who was, I think, Werner Herzog.
Read.
He said in his masterclass that sometimes he pushes his students to work night shifts at factories or be a bouncer. Or I worked a security job and I worked also in tourism before when I was young, and definitely those jobs push you to learn how to speak and be heard by many different types of society members, if you catch my drift. Because you'll be interacting with various people in a work environment, and that will definitely enrich your storytelling abilities and artistic perspectives, because it will force you perhaps to think of being in the other person's shoes. And sometimes you can never understand fully what the other person is going through unless you walk a mile in their shoes, something like that. But this also depends a lot on the nature of the job. We'll also talk about this more in the cons, but carefully choosing your 9 to 5 if you want to go that route is, I think the major one is never, ever, ever, ever work with jerks. Do not work with toxic people or people who are basically, who can be harmful to your mental health and all of those things, because it's very easy to be trapped in a job where we have a toxic manager or toxic co-workers. While also I encourage people to learn how to handle people with difficult characters or people who are not good people. Actually, it's because no matter where you go, even if you work as a freelancer or entrepreneur or whatever, you will always be dealing with either crappy clients or basically the word is filled with assholes, and learning how to deal with those can be a good skill. But nonetheless, you should not be doing that for a lot of time. So don't work with jerks if you can afford to. Now let's dive a bit into the cons of having a day job. The first con is time constraints. It will definitely limit the available time for your artistic pursuits, which can hinder your creative growth and output, because you won't have as much time as possible to practice. For example, look at this YouTube channel. The last video I did was, I think, 3 or 4 months ago, and well, many reasons prevented me to upload on this channel, but one of those reasons was my day job or my other things that I'm involved in. So that's a big con to be considering. The next one is, as I mentioned earlier, the potential toxicity. Some work environments can be very soul-crushing, and it can be very detrimental to your well-being. The other con is this basically negates one of the pros that I mentioned earlier. Sometimes having a traditional employment can give you false security. Job security isn't guaranteed, especially in today's economy. You know, I've had a lot of friends being laid off just for whatever reason. Sometimes you go into your job and you will have an email, or your manager will come and tell you, okay, this is your last day. We cannot afford to have you anymore. Goodbye. Good luck. Those things happen, and we've seen them in many industries, especially in the IT industries, where we've seen thousands of people being laid off. So traditional employment can give you a sense of security, but it's not 100% secure. Nothing in this world is 100% secure. Don't take just by having a day job that you're 100% secure. This is why I always strive to save as much as possible from the money that I've earned. I try to cut down as much as possible from the other costs that can be prevented, because winter is coming and no one knows what's awaiting for us in the upcoming months. From what I've seen, especially if you live in a country where the global economy isn't as promising, so save as much as possible and be smart with your finances, because nothing is for sure. Another con is life's brevity. Spending time in an unfulfilling work environment can feel such a waste of time. It can feel such a waste of your precious time. It feels like a waste of life, because we are all on this planet for a very, 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 very limited amount of time, and it gets shorter every day. So it's not the most judicial move to spend time in a very unfulfilling work, or work that has no purpose. Sometimes I've had jobs where basically every day I was like, what are we even doing here? Who are we benefiting with this job? So a lot of pointless job exists, and sometimes they pay very, very, very well. So make sure that you don't waste your life, doing unfulfilling job. And this is definitely a privilege. This is not something that everyone has the opportunity to have, but you have to strive for it and you have to work for it, because honestly, you deserve it. So think about that. Now let's discuss the all-in artistic approach. Let's say you go 100% full all-in your artistic endeavor. Let's start with the pros. First one is time, dedicated time. Here, all of your energy can be channeled in your artistic experience. And the more time you put into it, the more practice you have, the better your output will be. It's very logical, simple equation here. So time definitely will be your friend. That will yield us to pro number 2, skill improvement. More time for the practice often leads to better artistic opportunities. And also it can generate more monetization opportunities, because full-time focus can create more chances, and especially if you move around a lot and you meet a lot of people, because you will have the time to do that, that will definitely create more opportunities to monetize your art, because you definitely should be monetizing your art if you want to live through that 100%. And my favorite pro is its soul fulfillment. Nothing feels better than having all of your time, all of your energy to be focused 100% on the thing that you want to do. For example, for me, I would trade everything to just have like a backpack with some amazing cameras and travel from place to place, documenting stories and hearing about people's lives, and try to document that through images. I think that would be such an awesome feeling to have. And but I need to work harder in order to deserve that, because that's definitely not a given. You need to be at a certain level with your art. You need to become a powerful storyteller. You need to be a good entrepreneur, basically, in order to generate enough capital or money to sustain those extraordinary, ideas. And I've definitely, it's something that I'm personally working on. So now let's think about the cons of going all in. I think the first one is definitely obvious. It's financial uncertainty. Without proper planning, or financial struggle can be significant. And here I advise anyone who wants to go all in on their art, basically have 2 years of your personal expenses saved. Some people will tell you a few months, some people tell you a year, but trust me, 2 years, because you never know what will happen, especially if you go all in on your art. You won't have health insurance anymore. Maybe your car will break down. Maybe you will have, for example, I had to have a dental surgery that cost me like thousands and thousands of dineros. So that's definitely something to be wary of. And the second thing, it's something that we don't usually think about, is you will feel pressure to succeed. Self-imposed deadlines for success can lead to stress and disappointment, because you will be subconsciously in a hurry to make it, because you don't have perhaps as much of a financial savings as you hope to be. Maybe you talked a lot about what you want to do to people, and people are waiting for results, updates, and so whether you like it or not, subconsciously you will feel the pressure to succeed. For example, if I was 100% all in on this YouTube channel, I will be basically miserable now at the moment, because I only have like a few hundred subscribers. Basically, this video won't have hardly any views. If that was my sole focus or my only reason to do this, I will be basically miserable. So it's something that is related to your mindset. So if you decide to go all in on your art, you need to set realistic, attainable, smart and trackable objectives, and build on that, and try to, before that, work to create the appropriate environment that will support you to be successful in this. If you're already doing it, if you're already working full-time on your art, I count that already as a success, because it's not a given. Everybody wishes they can do what you're doing right now. So tap yourself on the back and congratulate yourself, because as far as I'm concerned, you have already made it. So just enjoy the ride and focus on making the best work. But do it for you. Don't do it for other people. It's nice to share it with other people and they give you their feedback, but do it for you at first. Serve yourself first. Redefine what success is. Recognize that pursuing arts is success in itself. I mean, living an artistic life is the goal. No external validation or fame. Never ever seek external validation. You should seek your own internal validation. That way you will be mentally healthy human being. Create for yourself. I mean, do it for your own fulfillment first. Then share with others. And finally, embrace feedback. I mean, I always seek opportunities to get feedback. This is something that I don't usually get. So appreciate positive responses, but also value constructive criticism for your own growth. Focus on what you can control. I mean, your art and effort are within your control. I mean, the public reception isn't it. You should ignore the things that are outside of your reach, outside of your grasp. You should only focus on the things that you can control, that emanate from yourself first. But it's also important to be aware of what's going around you, but strive to not let that impact you in any shape or form. So I'm going to repeat some practical considerations as I mentioned throughout in this messy video. So first of all, financial planning. I mean, consider saving up to 2 years of expenses before going all in on your art. Set clear goals. I mean, have a plan for potentially making a living from your art within a set time frame. And here, your create can be as creative as you want to see how you want to make it. Are you selling prints? Are you selling courses? Look for the problems that people want to have fixed. Figure out how you can fix them for them and charge accordingly. Can seem very straightforward and very easy, but when you add in art on that mix, can be very difficult, but I'm sure you're creative enough to figure out something. Also, maintain flexibility. I mean, be open to returning to traditional employment if needed, if things didn't work out as you wanted. There's no shame in going back to traditional employment. It's fine. Consider it as a break, perhaps, or to regather some resources, regroup with yourself. Maybe you will think of a pivot in your artistic business or whatever. So no shame in that. I mean, the only shame there is when you throw in the towel and just give up. That's it. Look, there's no one-size-fits-all answer here. Some of the greatest artists in the world had day jobs. Others lived on the edge to pursue their passion. The key is to make a choice that aligns with your values, your goals, and yes, you need to eat. You need to have a roof over your head. And for the love of whatever it is holy to you, do not romanticize about the struggling artist life. Being poor or not being able to support yourself and your loved ones, your family, it's nothing to be proud of, in my opinion. Maybe because I had a traditional upbringing, I don't know, but do not romanticize about that. There's no shame in monetizing your art. There's no shame in making money. I know sometimes I feel like maybe it's cheating when I go and have fun with my camera and get paid for it. Sometimes it feels like a glitch in the matrix, but you deserve it, buddy. It's not easy doing what you're doing, so forget about the struggling artist scenario. Anyhow, so whether you're punching a clock or you're living a full-time artist life, remember this: you're an artist, period. No day job or lack thereof changes that. Keep creating, keep pushing, keep making the world a little more beautiful, a little more thought-provoking, and a little more you.